Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to another reading. Let's see what is going on. Oh gosh, I'm stumbling over my words. Let's see what's coming up. Let's go. So, what is happening? Oh wow, Six of Wands. Six of Wands. What a beautiful card. In your element, ideas coming through, inspiring ideas, inspiration is just flowing to you. Or Six of Wands is all about getting recognized in public for your craft. Maybe people are like, oh, they're recognizing you for what you do. You're very abundant. Very abundant. This is also going to be a great time if you're facing doubts. Really think about which YouTubers do you follow and what do you like about them? Which people's Instagram stuff that you follow and what do you like about them? This is a great time to really note that. Because if some of you who are kind of confused about what you want to be known as in this world, your answers lies somewhere there. Your answers are definitely somewhere in that realm. So I'll give you an example. So one of the people that I really like, I've been following her journey for the longest time, has been Mimi Icon, the developers of the Gratitude Journal, the 5-minute journal, right? If you haven't heard of it, do check it out. Her and her husband started this company, which honestly, they have shared such wonderful like YouTube videos on it, and I used to watch them like all the time when this is like 10 years ago. So I started watching their videos like 10 years ago and I was obsessed. I was like, this is the life I want. I loved when she was doing like vision boards, dressing up and like doing like monthly updates of what she wears, what she likes. You know, it was just such a great vibe and I loved watching her videos. To a point that even now, when I look back at them, I just have such a positive feeling within me, like, oh, those were such like great videos. I want that kind of vibe again. Last night I was watching Emily in Paris again because I couldn't find anything to watch on Netflix. And to be honest, there's so much like, so many different like documentaries on like murder, on crime cases and all that. And I can't handle them, to be honest. I really struggle. I just can't handle anything that is violence related, like, or even like hurting other human beings. To me, watching something like that is just doesn't really, it doesn't capture my interest in any way, shape or form. I am just made that way, or at least now I've become that way. I used to, maybe when I was like 15, you know, and even then it was mostly because other people were watching it and I was expanding as a person and learning about the world. But I've just really, I really find like, yeah, those kind of movies, like those kind of just documentaries, programs, and there's just a lot of them out there, and there's been a decrease in like rom-coms and like, you know, just I don't know, just like happy movies or happy content out there, you know. And as soon as I just saw looked on the side, I just saw 333, so maybe that's a significance for someone. And so what I'm trying to say here is that perhaps it's really right now a good time to get clear on what your mental diet is and who you want to follow, who brings you joy, who makes you feel like I could watch their content all day and that just makes me feel like this homely feeling, this feeling of like soothed, you know, when like at the weekends when you have some time in your day and maybe you've been working the whole week and you just get to relax at the weekend, and on a Sunday you just like are tidying up your room, you feel like you're redecorating stuff or like moving stuff around, right? When you're in that mood, what do you put on YouTube? What podcast do you put on? Who do you listen to? Who do you really connect with? That's something that is really to note here. For me, it really was all the content about manifestations. I remember when I used to clean my flat on Sundays, you know, I would just put such a nice music or a podcast on and I would make it a vibe. Right, and I would watch like this show in the background. Sometimes I'd put like Emily in Paris on or something like that, you know, which just brings me like a lot of joy. I don't know, like that kind of thing. So right now you're really wanting to keep your energy pristine. If you live with people who are not into that kind of stuff, maybe it's time, just even for a couple of days, to really pull your energy back and try and focus on that fun aspect in your life a bit more. And yeah, that's something that's coming up with this card that I got, that you're actually creating something that is going to bring you a lot of joy, but you don't want to get anyone else's energy kind of coming in. Right, now we get Action of Coins, which is, again, it's an action card, Knight of Pentacles. Knight of Pentacles, all the Knight cards are always to do with action, right? So action card, Action of Pentacles, but this is not just like full-on action. This is step by step. Just take one step towards what you're wanting to create next. Just one step at a time is all you need. That's it. That's what I'm getting here. There's just, yeah. 8 of Cups. Again, I get this like ladder card here. I say again because I think that's just been coming up for me quite a lot. Beautiful card, by the way. It's stepping into the onto this staircase, and something lies there. Something is really lying there, and something very beautiful that you can't see at the moment. Normally this is a card of letting go, but here I see a slightly different meaning. It's something that is progressing towards a new earth, a new way of being, perhaps your new life. Your new life is right there, and it's not that many steps. It's just a couple of steps that you need to take, but that requires just a bit of action. And right now you're in the clearing phase again. You're clearing what you want to take in, the content that you watch, the things that you have in your life. You're kind of like taking inventory of that and what serves you and doesn't serve you. Yeah, that's when you do that. So we did get the Chariot, but it is upside down. But the reason why it's upside down is because there is an opportunity wanting to come. But as soon as you clear this, as soon as you take one step towards what you want, getting clarity on what you want, and then taking just one step towards it, this is going to come in. This opportunity is going to come in, and that is certain here. A lot of you who are starting your businesses, this is a great time to do that, because something is going to enter your life in the most wonderful way, and it's really time to take steps towards that. And this is not an old idea that you've had. You've probably had this idea multiple times before, like so many times before you've thought about this idea. But now that is like, you kind of stopped working on that idea because you're like, well, really, is it really going to work? Is it actually going to work? Here's my tip, or here's a question of the week really that you might want to journal on, which is, if you could have anything that you wanted and there were no restrictions on your path, that being money, time, location, or anything like that, if none of those things existed, like were an obstacle in your path, what would you do? What would you do? Allow yourself to even just imagine that. And that goes same for not just what you would do, but also the type of relationship you'd have. If, for example, the person you're after was available, or if the person that you are wanting to be, wanting to call in as a life partner, if they came in right now, there were no restrictions. It's just smooth sailing. There are no obstacles. I know for some people that's really hard to even think about. And that's more to do with our past experiences, and perhaps to do with your mindset that has developed from past experiences, or what you've seen, even on the media, what you see. I'm not here to talk about the red flags and all those things, because there's just plenty of videos out there about that, but I don't want to talk about that. What I want to talk about is what is that you want, and there are a couple of things blocking it, and how can we remove those. And right now I would encourage you to imagine the life in the exact way. If you could have it literally in the next 2 days, right? If your life was to change in the next 2 to 3 days, what would you change about it? Maybe it's not a lot. In that case, that's brilliant. Or maybe there is a vision that you have in mind. Allow yourself to dream it without having this blockage within you that, you know, perhaps you're wanting a life partner, but you're just thinking that that's just not possible. You know, maybe because it feels like you've not met that kind of person, or maybe you have in some ways but they didn't choose you, or something like that. You know, there's just some sort of like level of something that is basically needing mindset shift. And that mindset shift, once you make it, what you want definitely will come. But it is really thinking about what exactly would you like. And that doesn't mean like being hung up on one person. No, that's not abundance mindset. But what I'm saying is maybe the person that you might be hung up on may represent a certain type of lifestyle that you want, you know, a certain type of relationship that you want, and perhaps you thought in the short amount of time maybe you got to know them that is something that you would like in your life. And maybe it's or maybe it's not to do with that person, maybe it is more so to do with how you felt in that partnership or in that relationship, or how you want to feel in that relationship. This is tied not just to your career or your public image or your public recognition way of being. It is more also to do with your entire lifestyle and the person you are calling into your life. It's to do with whether you want a family or not, whether you want an apartment, a house, where do you want it. This is a whole life recalibration that I'm seeing here. So that is really something to consider. Allow yourself to dream without obstacles. If none of the obstacles were there, if you know the person or the location or the business that you're starting, if you know money wasn't an issue, time wasn't an issue, the person that you're wanting, you know, if they do choose you, what would that look like? What would that entire life look like? Because that is what you want to dream. And I bet you, if you pause before dreaming that because you feel like, gosh, I don't believe that can happen, that's the issue. That is where the issue lies. It is not to do with anything else, anyone else. It is, the issue lies exactly in that fact. It lies exactly in the point that you are pausing yourself to even dream about the thing that you want. Like, in every shape, in every way, shape or form, you know, you're wanting something, but you will pause yourself that no, it can't happen, so I'm not gonna like even bother dreaming it. And that's self-sabotage in a way. Or you don't want to face the disappointment later on, but if you don't dream it, then the disappointment is guaranteed. You know, you have to be able to dream the vision that you're wanting before you're manifesting it. And maybe, you know, things that come in don't necessarily look exactly like what you want, but they will be really, really something that is going to get you there anyways. You know what I mean? Like, I remember when my dream apartment in central Berlin came. Right before that, another apartment came in another city that I was living. It wasn't everything that I wanted, but it was pretty nice. Like, I was like, yeah, it could be really, really nice to live here. I can, like, you know, have plants. And I was building my imagination around creating this wonderful place. And I had imagined that, and I was okay with that. I knew it wasn't like my dream, but, you know, I was like, okay, well, if an opportunity has come, let's see what happens with it. I did go to see the place, you know, and I did think, well, could this work? Yeah, this could possibly work. But I can't even tell you, the apartment that I actually got in central Berlin was beyond my wildest dreams. It was more than what I could have imagined. More than what I could have imagined. It was everything that I had asked for. Like, actually, no, not the location, but it was, I thought I wanted to be in a certain area, but I'm so glad I got the other area, because I think I was choosing, like, I really wanted to live in Kreuzberg area, but in Kreuzberg, I know how loud it can be, and to be honest, it really wasn't my area, you know, just the way I am. I just, like felt like, yeah, you know, this should be, because a lot of people I knew were living there, and you know, there was a sports club, like jiu-jitsu club, that I was going to was there. So I was like, yeah, but I mean, this is where I would want to live. It would make sense. But because I was injured, I couldn't do jiu-jitsu anyways when I was in Germany, and you know, I couldn't do it that much. So that wasn't the phase of my life where I was going to be doing jiu-jitsu. So I really thought about it. Okay, well, maybe it's somewhere else that I'm going to be. So I changed the location aspect, and I can't even tell you how glad I am that I did. And maybe this is also something to think about in your manifestation. Maybe you're quite rigid about where you want to be, but actually that's not somewhere you are meant to be, because something even better is coming, and it was better. I can guarantee and 100% reassure you that by not being so fixated on the location, the apartment that came into my life was a dream. Oh my god, what a dream. Like, and if you have done something like this before, even once in your life, you are a powerful manifester. You don't need to doubt that. You are an incredibly powerful manifester. You can have anything you want in your life and manifest it as you want. The only thing that is blocking you is you not even wanting to dream about it, because you are worried about the disappointment and fear of being rejected and fear of being not chosen. And maybe that comes up in your life, but that's just something that needs clearing. We do not give up. We do not give up. Recently, and this is quite a vulnerable share, I had quite a diagnosis of a health condition, and at first I was like, gosh, you know, how has this come about? What is happening? But I know for a fact that everything that is happening in our bodies is linked to a certain emotion, certain energetic disruption in our body, and is not always to do with it's not random, is what I'm saying, right? Yes, sometimes we have our DNA that we carry, and we carry sort of wounds and, you know, things from our ancestors, you know, what they faced through. Certain aspects are carried forward, but it is then up to us to manage it in whatever way possible, and what a time we live in that we can manage it. I take pristine care of my health now, and I'm really like trying different you know, health changes, trying different diets. I'm really adapting to Ayurveda lifestyle, which I will be soon offering Ayurveda coaching as well, alongside my manifestation coaching, you know, and it's just so exciting to be able to offer, as well as be trained in nutrition or lifestyle based Ayurvedic, you know, way of living, as well as really how can we adapt that to be brilliant manifestors, live our life on our own terms, how to set these energetic boundaries, all these tools and things that I have learned over the years, over the last, gosh, so many years. I'm gathering it all to offer to my clients actually, and I'm so excited about that, and I can't wait. I really can't wait. But getting back to my point about this diagnosis, the way I looked at it was, okay, this is coming up. The first thing I did was, before going to Google or, you know, like searching like a bit more about it, because I knew everything when you search on Google is like, you have like a terminal illness, and it's not the case. I have found sometimes certain symptoms would show up, and I would check in my book by Louise Hay. It's called Heal Your Body, and I would check what emotion is associated with that organ or certain thing that is coming up in my body, what is associated with that. And then I would look into that, okay, this is associated with that. Then I would go into my mindset and like anything that has been coming up. Have I been thinking too much about certain negative things? Have I been looping on past situations? Have I just been looping on a certain negative thing that happened in my past? And I realized I had been without even like thinking about it. Like I was just automatically, I would switch to that thought. And I realized that is not healthy, and this health scare has literally just given me a wake-up call. It is a wake-up call. It's time to recorrect my mind, get my energy ready, pristine. I'm doing self-Reiki every day because Because I have these tools, so why not use them, you know? And if you have certain tools to manage your energy, manage your health, use them. Do use them. You're going to need them for the next phase of your life, which you are calling in a big manifestation. Okay, that was a big message. Let's see what else is coming up. I'm going to take this oracle deck. Oh, I'm so excited. Wow, I can't tell you how good these cards are. 3 cards. Abundance. Abundance. Here you can see a bit clearly. Divine Beloved, please show me how to feel fully deserving to receive. I release my ego's plan and open to being a vehicle for abundance. Beautiful. Positivity. Positivity. Again, I literally just mentioned, right, that I just picked up on my negative thoughts. This is linked to that. If you can find even one thing to be grateful for, it will restore you to the light. Please, dear God, let me always feel gratitude for something, even a tiny thing, in even the hardest situations. Getting a health diagnosis is a hard situation, trust me. Like, I'm sure a lot of you are going through this as well. It's never easy. But as cheesy as it sounds, the work still remains the same, which is to find gratitude in your every day. Money. These are all green, teal colored cards. Yeah, even like this, you see? Yeah, this is about really getting in your element. You're calling in something big. Something big wants to drop into your life. Money, positivity, abundance, a relationship that you're wanting. Things that you're wanting are wanting to come into your life. It's your mindset, looping thoughts that are being alerted to you right now. All my finances are now in divine order. Love itself knows my needs and is the source for all. I needn't cling to gain or feel loss. Every need will be met through offering all to the divine. You know, sometimes we get cards about, like, now it's action time, about action to do with, maybe you need to, like, start this thing in your business. Maybe you need to ask for a promotion at the job. This is not what is coming here. This is saying that if you're worried about your finances, ask for help. There are your angels and guides, if you believe in them, or the universe or spirit team, whatever it is that you have your deep belief in, is what you're offering the entire help towards, right? They are bringing you something, and it's really time to rely on them. Rely and trust on them. Really rely and trust on them. Often, you know, I know a lot of people, and including me, in my past relationships, I felt like I had to build my career fully, get to a certain point in my life fully before I can be with someone, right? And which is not the case, which is really not the case, because you can climb the career ladder for the rest of your life, but actually things are going to be easier to do with someone else. Having someone in your life and building with them might actually be an easier option, because at least then you have support and someone to get you through. And, you know, even with Mimi Icon and Alex Icon, right? I've been following their journey, and they built it together. You know, they built everything together, the filming, everything that was done together. They're currently not together anymore, but until that point, the mission was completed, right? Their mission was done pretty well to bring these journals out there into the world, to hold these workshops, and to lead our humanity into much more of a lighter way. And if you want that lifestyle, if you want that kind of life for yourself, which is this abundant travel, nice things, you know, just wanting nice things in your life and actually buying them and having them. And I don't mean like frivolous, I mean actually enjoying life and depth of it in a beautiful way, because you deserve that. You deserve that now. So now is the time to allow yourself to experience that. And the way you experience that is to shift your thoughts that you have been having, that have been looping a story that has been looping. It's time to switch that to a more of a positive story, and allow yourself, even just for a couple of days, to dream big. Dream about what you want. What if no obstacles were there? How would your life look like? Yeah, that's what I would leave you with. if there's anything that you took with from this video, it is to allow yourself to dream what your life would look like without the obstacles. Yeah. Okay. I hope you enjoyed this reading. And yeah, I do offer these readings in much more detail in my one-to-one session. So if you do feel called, you can reach out via the links down below on booking sessions, and I love hearing from you. So do let me know in the comments below as well if this resonated or what you are calling in your life. So do check that out as well. Right, have a nice week, and I'll see you in the next one.